welcome to my channel. My name is Bree and I am starting this nursing vlog, and it's going to be covering my journey going through nursing school, as well as what my journey was like prior when I took prereqs and giving advice on all of that, because that's no joke either. It's not easy getting through all of those prerequisites, that's for sure. So I hope you guys enjoy the content that I bring. I just really want to, be a voice for anyone that is on this journey, and, maybe they can take something from what I say, even if it's one person literally, and use it and apply it to their life and, help them out hopefully. So today I want to start by talking about checkoffs. Now, the reason I chose checkoffs is because I noticed a lot of the nursing vlogs, they don't really speak about that. Now, maybe I may be wrong, maybe I just haven't come across those videos, but I haven't seen one that spoke about checkoffs. Now, a checkoff is basically where you're taught a task, say how to insert a catheter on the dummy, and you have to practice it, and then you have to perform that task by yourself in front of your professor, and you're graded on it, and you either get a pass or fail. So that, when I went into my first semester, that caught me off guard, because I didn't know we had to do that. And I'm not like a public speaker. Like, it was just intimidating to me, to say the least. Like, I was really scared. Now, I got away in that summer class, because that's actually when I did my first checkoff, because that professor, she allowed us to make a video and send it to her. And that's a lot better, because when you're practicing and you're reading off of the rubric in front of family or alone at home, it flows and it comes out good, But when you're in front of someone, it's a whole different ball game. Your nerves start to kick in, and yeah, it can get messy. So that one I got away with. But when I entered in August, the fall semester, after I passed that course, there was no more videos. No, it was me and that professor. So the first check off that I was graded on in my first semester was a wet to moist. Now, the wet to moist, that's basically where you are changing the dressing on a wound that a patient had, and you're doing it on something called a sterile field. Now, sterile field is basically an area which you cannot contaminate, and it can be contaminated just as easy as turning your back. You turn your back, you fail. That's contamination, because when you turn your back, who knows, the patient could reach over and, touch the sterile field, and it's no longer sterile. Anything can happen. Someone sneezes, it's sterile. Like, that was a lot. But I practiced it at home over and over, and of course in lab. But the thing about these checkoffs is that they're based off of a rubric with orders, right? But you have these different professors who, they were nurses, or some still are nurses, and they do things a certain way, you know what I mean? So just because your friend, their professor wants them to do it in this order, that don't mean that that's the order you're expected to do it in. And the thing that sucks about that is a lot of times they don't even tell you they want it to be in a certain order. Well, at least my program. Hopefully you all will be in a program that give you full discretion when it comes to that. But they wouldn't tell us, So we're just going off of this rubric that was obviously created, and it wasn't taken into consideration that all of these professors do not agree with it. So therefore, you learned by trial and error, or maybe word of mouth. Like, you know, one of your fellow students may say, oh, well, professor such and such, she said that she wants you to perform this step first. And then, you know, when you hear that, take that into consideration. Go double check with that professor, because it 9 times out of 10 is true. You know, but you still want to double check. And then once you double check, you're like, okay, so I know I can X part 3 out, you know, and replace it with part 5 because she wants me to do it in this particular order. And so when I did mine's, it was nerve-wracking. It was just, it's different when you get in front of someone, you know, because they're interjecting a lot of the time. And when they do that, you get thrown off because you have it in a order in your head. And when someone stops you and say, oh, you didn't lift the bed at a 45-degree angle or whatever, your whole train of thought gets thrown off, and you have to quickly remember where you were. So that did happen to me a couple of times, but thank God I picked it back up. That specific time, I just remember being just nervous, just being in front of her, you know. But I passed. I did well. I did not contaminate the field. That's the most important part when it comes to that one. You don't want to contaminate that field. That's automatic fail right there. And I actually got 95, which I was surprised. But it was something where it was like, man, I'm going to have to do this all throughout nursing school. Like, this is a part of it. It's just like tests. You know what I mean? Like, it's there and it's not going anywhere. So I thought that I would get comfortable performing in front of these professors, but the truth is you never get comfortable. Like, you know what to expect. The anxiety level may lessen a little bit, and this is only for people like myself that, you know, that's nervous when it comes to that type of thing. But you're always going to have those butterflies before you go in. You're always going to have that anxiety. Now, my second check off, that was where we did injections. That one was a bit harder because, like I mentioned before, she wanted things to be done in a certain order that she didn't tell us or whatnot. So I didn't feel as confident in that one. But, you know, the nerves were a little bit under control as opposed to the first check off. So, yeah, that one I passed as well. Now, our last check off that we had to do for the first semester was another head to toe. That's something for my program. They continue to assess you when it comes to that until you perfect it within 15 minutes, I believe. And they might want us to do it a little quicker if I'm not mistaken. I don't know. I would have to check, but they want you to get really good at that head to toe. So that was the last one that I did. And it wasn't so bad because of the fact that I did it like 2 months prior. And, well, not 2 months, like maybe like 3-4 months prior. And I still had my video, which I think that video is still up here. I posted it on YouTube. So if any of you guys want to go check that out, go ahead and check it out. Now, that was my first one, so it wasn't perfect. But if you just want a general idea of what a head to toe is supposed to look like, you're more than welcome to check that video out. But yeah, it wasn't that bad because it was kind of like just, you know, relearning it, perfecting it a bit more. And that one went pretty well. So yeah, check-offs is something that if you are in nursing school or you're going to be soon, just know this is going to be a part of the package, you know, and it may be intimidating every time, but you will get through it. You will get through it. You can get through it, you know, and it's totally normal to be nervous every single time. Like all of my classmates those days were horrible. Oh my God, checkoff days. We all dreaded it. I mean, we dreaded it, and I'm pretty sure we're going to continue to dread it as we continue the program. So that's going to be all that I have to say about that today. If you guys have anything you want to see, anything you want me to cover, go ahead and let me know in the comments, and I can just add that to the list of things that I already would like to share with you guys when it comes to my experience. But that's going to be it for today. Again, my channel is new. Go ahead and subscribe. I'm going to be dropping videos as much as I can over break. And I will see you guys next time.